This scene from the classic Doctor Who story Planet of Fire, where the Master is trying to regenerate using blue numismaton gas, sure reminds me of this scene from She, where Aisha takes Callicrates into the flame of eternal life. Did you catch this reference? Stay with me and I'll tell you about it. Hi, I'm Chris, your host here at Sci-Fi Eyes, where I highlight and comment on tropes and references in science fiction and fantasy. I was on a rewatch of the classic Peter Davison Doctor Who story Planet of Fire when I noticed this scene. Here, the Master is bathing in blue numismaton gas, which, according to the Doctor, is a high energy source and has all kinds of regenerative properties. Why does the Master need to do that? And how did we get here? And how is this connected to an old Hammer classic known as She? Planet of Fire is a so-so story because there's not a lot of action. That's not to say nothing happens, but it's not a lot of science fiction. It's Peri's first story, and there's a lot of drama around that. It's Turlough's last story, and there's a lot of drama around that. It's also Chameleon's last story. And I can hear you saying, what's that? Who's that again? Yeah, I'd almost forgotten about Chameleon, the shape-changing robot that serves as a companion for only 2 stories. I thought he was going to be an interesting and useful companion, but he's overly easily influenced telepathically, which the Master frequently takes advantage of, and which makes Chameleon a pain in the ass. In a somewhat uncharacteristic move, the Doctor destroys Chameleon after the robot gets its share of the drama. So where does that leave us? Oh yeah, Sarn, the Planet of Fire. Well, the Master somehow knows about this geothermal control system that's installed in a local volcano, and which can be used to harness the volcano's blue numismaton gas. The Doctor reports that this gas is a high-energy source with all kinds of regenerative properties. The Master's plan is to bathe in the numismaton gas. Why does he need to do this? Apparently, he's been experimenting with his tissue compression eliminator to increase its power. What's that, you say? You know, that funny little weapon he's got that shrinks people? It's been his signature move all the way back to his first appearance in Terror of the Autons. Well, in the course of experimenting with it to increase its power, the Master has accidentally managed to shrink himself, and he wants to use the numismaton gas to regain his proper size. And in the last episode of Planet of Fire, he manages to do just that. Because, of course, the Master has to come back, right? So I recognize this scene in Planet of Fire as being a copy of another scene from the classic Hammer horror movie She. What's going on here? Aisha, she who must be obeyed, is giving the gift of immortality to her would-be boyfriend Callicrates. There's this cave, and if you wait for the right astrological moment, fire comes down from the heavens and changes this blazing fire from red to blue, after which you can bathe in it and receive the gift of immortality. Seems pretty similar, huh? I'd love to hear in the comments if anyone else out there caught that. She was a fantasy film released by Hammer in 1965 with lots of familiar faces. Ursula Andress as Aisha, Christopher Lee as her High Priest Bilali, John Richardson as Leo, Peter Cushing as Holly, and Bernard Cribbins as Job, who comes along as Leo and Holly's shared manservant. It's based on H. Rider Haggard's novel, She. Leo, Job, and Holly find themselves discharged from British Army service in the Middle East in the early 1900s. Leo is recognized as the face from a medallion depicting Callicrates, who is Aisha's lost love. Aisha's agents arrange for him to make his way to her lost city, where Aisha tells him the story of how they migrated to this place long ago, and how she stabbed him along the way for having an affair. Now she's waited 3,000 years for him to be reincarnated, and this time around, she wants him to be her forever boyfriend. Literally. It's a schmaltzy fun period fantasy with a tragic ending. And cool blue flames. Go watch it and let us know what you thought. On my rewatch of She for this episode, I noticed that the scene where Aisha takes Callicrates into the flames reminded me of this scene from Star Trek The Motion Picture with Decker and Ilia. The scene did start out red and turned blue, but I think it's just a visual coincidence and isn't thematically related. After all, Ilia and Decker are being joined, whereas Callicrates and Aisha are unknowingly being separated since her second trip through the flame tragically takes away its gift. What do you think of this connection? Let us know in the comments. That's it for this episode. I hope you enjoyed seeing that connection and that you'll like, subscribe, and come back for more. See you next time.